Okay, so I'm going to modify these muzzy plates like I did with the Ivans ones. I'm going to reduce the thickness of that lug there, so that it recesses in, the whole plate recesses into the cam cover. And I've got a selection here of slitting saws here in various thicknesses, and an arbor here that it goes on to. So I'm just going to do that now. All right, guys. All right, so now we'll just put the muzzy plates on, block off plates. These are long out of production, these here, and if you can get a set, hold on to them, because they stopped making them a number of years ago, and they're very sought after. And I was fortunate enough to be able to get a pristine set, and I have them on my 2005, and then I came across these ones here, and again I've modified them there to so that they sit flush. So we'll just put them on here like that, and that just goes in there perfectly like that there, and that one there as well. And I have these lovely little titanium button head screws here to secure them. So I'll just put them in with this little tool here, and these are just 10 Newton meters. You wonder why some specs is 9.8 Newton meters and others is 10. Like, I mean, like I said, it makes not a big lot of difference. But anyway, just we're nearly there with this engine. And as I was saying, like, you know, I have these stick coils on, and I'm going to just in a wee minute just put the carburetors on, and the K&N pod filters on. But that's only just for a mock-up to let you see what the engine would is going to look like, you know, fully complete. Well, more or less complete, you know, before I put it back into the bike. So let's so you can just get a wee visual of it, you know, and see it all around, you know, before you would that you wouldn't see whenever it would be actually in the bike. But anyway, 10 Newton meter. All right, guys. Okay, guys, so there's a wee thing here I want to revisit and put right. In the part 2 video, previous one there, I had said that the Pulsar pickup cover bolts were 9.8 Newton meters. According to the manual, you can see here they're actually 11 Newton meters. And in addition, I hadn't put any, I just put them all in dry, but there's these two here that, according to here, has to have like a blue thread lock on there. Now, that's the stock Pulsar cover. I'm using a ZRX 1200 one, but really shouldn't make any difference. So I'll address that now and tighten all these bolts here up to 11 Newton meters as opposed to the 9.8. Don't think it'll make a big lot of difference, but I'll do it anyway because that's what the manual says to do. And I'll take these two back out and put some blue thread lock on them. Okay guys, stay with me. Alright guys, so it's these two here. Let's just take them out again and clean them. I just put them in dry, but we'll take them out and clean them and put some blue thread lock on them, and then tighten all them bolts to 11 Newton meters like it says in the manual. That one and that one. All right, just clean that off there with a wee bar brush or a wee brass brush. Clean any residue off that. And that one. Okay. All right. It's that one. That one. I don't need that. All right, so it's 11 Newton meters now. Let's do it right this time. No point in telling you how to do something and then doing it wrong myself. Anyway, so as I say, it says about doing them in a sequence, but you know, we'll sort of just do them in a zigzag. Okay, so did I get all those? I think that's it. And that's 11 Newton meters. Can you see that all right? All right, guys. Okay, so let's push the carburetors in just for a visual on it now. All these clips are loose, as you can see, you know. So there really shouldn't be any issue getting these pushed in, and it's just really for the look. I've rubbed a tiny wee bit of grease around there to see if they will they'll slide in easily enough. These carburetors have all been sonically cleaned and vapor blasted, and they have a, this here wants to slide on me. They have a factory pro stage 3 kit in them, jet kit in them. Let's see now. That's it. That's it there. All right. So that's that. And then we'll just stick the K&N pod filters on. Let's see. I'll not. Obviously, this is just a This is just a mock-up here. You know, there's nothing tightened up or anything. All right. Just get those all straight. So we've got this wee coolant pipe here that has to go onto the front, and I'll just show you where that's going, and we'll just get it on now. Okay. So it just goes in. It just goes from there to there, and we'll just put that on now, and then that'll be that wee bit buttoned up, and it'll prevent anything undesirable from falling down in there. Okay. It's hard to get a good angle at that, no matter what way I go. This rail here is in the way. But anyway, I've just put a wee bit of grease around that and that there, because you're trying to, you know, I mean, you have to slide this down, and a wee bit of grease. I've put this this Jubilee clip on here, and I'm going to slide this down like this. Slide it down a good wee bit, and then that'll allow me to manipulate that a bit and get that up in there. Okay, like that. So I'll do that and try and sort of keep it in out of the road a bit, you know. And then I can get this one. Let's see if I've got it loosened enough. Alright, that's not bad. Do the same, just tighten that one up. And maybe go around there a wee bit. And that's it. That's it, guys. Aye, that goes down there and hugs that. Okay, so there you are. I'll take that off and let me see a bit better. All right. Okay. So you can see how that, you know, that goes, and how that hugs the shape of that engine, and then just you know, the contours of it. And obviously this bit of threaded rod's coming out for that, so it's holding the engine in the stand. But anyway, that's the way I go with that there. You're kind of in your own way, you know, your own light. But anyway, there it is. There it is, guys. All right. Okay. I'd mentioned in part 1 of this 3-part buttoning up video series about this little crankcase breather here, which I said was my creation, and it is. And because normally on the top of the crankcase breather cover, there would be a this pipe here, which would be longer than this, and it would extend normally up into the air box. But of course, we've done away with the air box. We're going to be using pod filters and everything. So I have actually made this. I wasn't really going to take it apart and go into all the details about it, but I just thought I would just let you have a look at it. We'll just take it apart here. There's this wee retaining clip here, which goes there, and then there's this wee retaining clip here. We'll take that off like that, and then we'll slide this apart like that. Now I made all this here, so I'll let you just see what way it works. And what's associated with it. So the top of it started off as a big sort of billet aluminium anodized nut that came from WeBike, and it has a symbol on it that is reminiscent of Morawaki. It's not a Morawaki nut or anything, but it has that kind of nod to Morawaki. and I machined the inside of it, the threads out of the inside of it, like that. See? So that it will go over my little filter that I made. You can see the filter here and down in there, and then I can take that apart further. Oh, I might need to get it apart. I'll use this chuck here to grip it, and then I can take it apart. There it is. So those are the components of it, and those are all the you know, the vent holes the whole way around there, and that's the way it goes. And so, you know, I've got twin little O-rings there that are recessed into this brass outer housing that I made. The fine mesh grill is from the time whenever I was used to be big into model making back in the 1990s, 1/35th scale model making, and the brass gauze there, if you can see that actually used to be able to buy that in strips and make up grills for the engine decks of some 1/35th scale military tanks that went over, you know, that area. So, you know, I was able to sort of use that and solder these rims around it. And anyway, that's that, and then made that part there. That's the interior part. So that all fits together like this, you know, which will oh, sorry, I made it, putting it together wrong. So anyway, that goes together like that, you know, and that's that. And then that part there is simply just a capping piece for it. You know, you can, this is what I'm saying, you know, I mean, you can take it apart and clean it out and everything, you know, but it's all handmade by me. And then that goes like that. Then that there goes on like that, and we can bring this wee clip back up again. And then this is the retaining clip for it, which just goes on there like that. If I can get this on without it pinging across the, there it is. So there you go. And so we'll just fit that now. Okay. It'll go on there. It'll obviously have to come off again, or probably have to come off again when it comes to installing it, yeah, the engine into the bike. But for the purposes of this, we'll just put it on and get a wee look and see. All right, I think that's about it. And then the last thing is stick on the stick coil harness. All right, so the stick coil harness, like I was saying earlier there, that was made by a member on the ZRX Owners Association forum in America, and that just goes on there like that, and then that will just go into where your coils normally go. And that's pretty much it, guys. Okay, guys, so I guess it's time now to reveal this engine and show you all around it. You've waited so long, a bit like myself, and I'll just go over some of the things that I did, and a little bit of wee bit more about it. In case you're wondering, here there's maybe, oh right, there's two screws missing there. Well, I know they are, but what actually is, because there's no airbox in this bike, you have a storage box that will come in through where the normal airbox would be, and there's two screws goes down through the top of it. or down through the bottom of it and go in through the top of this here. Two tiny little spacers sitting on top of that there and there to keep this new storage box just floating a little bit above that. And so that's why there's no point in putting screws in there until the engine's in the bike, and then that's all done. So anyway, I'll just show you around it first, and then I'll tell you sort of a bit about it. So there it is. It's been completely redone, as you can see here. I'll put this other light on, let you maybe throw a bit of that light on the other side. There's a bit blinding, but anyway, there's the full engine. There's my wee infamous, my wee muzzy block off plates on the top of the rocker cover. And yeah, I'm very over the moon about how it has came out looks wise. I just really hope that it goes as well as it looks. So I'll tell you a bit about it. It's, well, you've obviously been following the thread. Well, no, you've been following the updates that I've been putting on YouTube. And in tandem with that, I have an engine build thread running on the ZRX OA Owners Association forum in America, so that members there can follow along with this build, along with everyone who's been tuning in on YouTube and seeing how it has been going with every update. I must stick a wee bit of kitchen roll or something in there. Yes, I will, because I don't want anything dropping down in there. Okay, so anyway, regarding this engine, it's a 2001 ZRX 1200 engine. It has or had about just over 23,000 miles on it. And but whenever I bought the bike off a friend, there was evidence to show me that this bike had at one stage in its history the bike had been dropped. And what happens with these engines is it's usually, if you're not really going to be able to get to the kill switch immediately. And if you can't get to the kill switch immediately and the bike's on its side and running on its side, there's oil starvation. And usually what happens is that in the not too distant future from whenever it was dropped, you'll find that the Conrod number 3 will come out the cases to see to visit you. And so I just wanted to take the engine out of the bike and completely disassemble it. And while I was in there, do some, refurbish everything and do some upgrades to it. So obviously the engine was taken out. It was completely disassembled, right down, as you will have seen. And the case is split. And during that time, then I wanted to put in a 6-speed gearbox, because the 5-speed gearbox that is stock with these engines is notoriously clunky, especially when you engage first gear. So it's a nice upgrade to put a 6-speed gearbox in, and I covered it in a number of different videos before and mentioned it. There's various options to putting in a 6-speed gearbox. So the one I've chosen for this is a ZZR 1100D, and that just means that it just goes straight in, but you have to change the spacer on the output shaft here, so that whenever you put the sprocket on, the chain alignment works perfectly. So you got to take the spacer off, the output shaft, ZZR spacer off. They're a nightmare to get off, but it has to come. And I'll maybe at some point do a video on how you get that off, because I think some people would be wondering, and it would be maybe helpful to them. But anyway, when you get that off, then you have to press a ZRX 1200 spacer on there, and that puts the sprocket in the right position for chain alignment. I done away with the stock ZRX oil pan, and I put a concourse Kawasaki, well, it's known in America as a concourse or ZG1000 oil pan on there. You can see it gives a much cleaner look underneath, and there's an additional oil line underneath it there. Do you see that? That is you know, because the ZRX one would come and it would loop round and go into a second port at the front that I was talking about in another video there. So that was done, and it has along with the 6-speed gearbox, I bought a ZZR 1200 engine, and I disassembled it, took some parts out of it. I used the block off it because the pistons were a perfect match for the block, because they came with the engine, and used that block and honed it. It's nickel bores, but cylinder bores, and they're very hard, but you know, you can clean them, and I cleaned them, and then I just give them a light hone. And so there's ZZR 1200 pistons in there because there's slightly higher compression. There's new piston rings in there. The what do you call it? The head. I didn't do a port job on it. Some people might be thinking, well, why didn't you do a port? Didn't do a port job on it. I just redone the head and you know, stripped it down, put lapped in all the valves, cleaned it all up, done all that, and I didn't use double valve springs that some people might be wondering about. Not necessary to use double valve springs unless you're going to be using a ZZR 1100 ECU to raise the rev limit, which isn't the case on this bike. So it's single valve springs, but ZZR 1200 cams. It's got the stock clutch in there. You could put a ZZR 1200 clutch in, which I showed in another video, but I opted not to. I've got a new cam, or a new alternator chain in there. I've got James Compton chain tensioner in there. That's a ZZR clutch cover. It's got ZZR 1200 Pulsar cover. It's got stock carburetor CVK 36s, and they have been jetted with a factory Pro Stage 3 jet kit to suit, because of don't have not putting it going to be running an oil filter, or sorry, an air filter, and I'm going to be using an aftermarket exhaust system. So that's that. I'm running a ZRX 10R stick coils, muzzy block off plates, and as I say, everything, all the oil seals, all the gaskets, O-rings, everything, anything that was needed to be upgraded, unreplaced, I did so. And I'll just show you underneath this oil pan again on the other side, just in case you're curious. Let's see what it's like underneath here. Hopefully that light on the other side won't blind us too much. But there it is. There's the there's that wee oil line I was talking about, that wee short one. You see that all right? Yeah, and then I machined the oil filler plate, or the oil filter plate, I mean. There's that. Yeah, it's turned out really, really good, I think. So The next stage is to actually get it into the bike, and you know, that'll be another subject of another video. But look, thank you so much, everybody that has followed along, everybody that has commented, everybody that has offered their support and their encouragement and interest. And you know, as I just keep saying, stay tuned for the next one. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you very much. All right, God bless.